Hey everyone, doing something different this week. It's a bit of Lego sculpture. Given that it's February and Valentine's Day is rapidly approaching, I picked a new set, which is this love statue. Now, there's two sets of instruction manuals. This one has the O and the V. The first one we'll be doing has the L and E, and that's why it's faded out right there. There's 791 pieces in this assembly, and 9 numbered bags of parts. Let's get right into bag number 1. Now these letters are all attached to each other, so this is one of the attachment points, a ball joint. And obviously there's going to be a lot of red in this set, but there's also quite a bit of blue, and the blue and actually green pieces will form the inside of the letters. The first 2 bags of parts are going to form the L. So ball joint, claw joint. This extension is going to be for connecting to the E down below. That's the end of bag number 1. Believe it or not, this is only half, I think, of the letter. So this gives you an idea of how big this actually is going to be. This is just the L. E goes down here, so I'll definitely have to reset my camera when I do the second half of this. You know, as I'm building this, my first impression is that this would be a very good set for somebody new to the world of building with Lego. Nothing too complicated with the construction so far. Let's get right into bag number 2. Another ball joint. And another claw joint. That's the guts of the letter. Now just to cover it with some smooth tiles. Well, here's a tile I haven't seen before. At least I'm pretty sure I haven't seen. Smooth tile, but shaped kind of like a double diamond. I'm curious if this already existed or if it was made specifically for the set. It goes in the corner here. I'm not even sure it's necessary to be that shape. I mean, yeah, it gives a nice curved profile there. Maybe that's what they were going for. There's the end of bag number 2. So the L is now fully formed. The back doesn't look that great because of all the exposed back ends of the studs, but the inside looks nice. It definitely looks like a letter L. Next up is letter E, which will be bag number 3 and 4. Something weirdly satisfying about building a giant block letter. Well, that's the end of bag number 3. The structure of the E is very well defined. So bag 4, we'll put some connection points in here and then finish off the rest of the E. The double ball joint. Almost don't need the instructions once the base is done. Shape itself tells you how to build it. It's one of the reasons why I think this would be a good set for somebody who's never built a Lego set before. Plus all the pieces, or most of the pieces, are really large. Well, there's most of the E. There's some parts left over, and this is for joining the E to the L, which I'm not going to do yet. I'm going to do the O and the V first, and then join everything together, because I'm going to have to reset my camera anyway. So while there was no extra parts in the bag, these parts are part of the joining. I'm just going to leave them off to the side for now. So there's the E, most of it. Again, looks really nice. I actually think the E construction went better than the L. I don't know why, just felt like it did. Good profile, pretty striking actually. I definitely like the blue on the inside. Next is bag number 5, which will be the start of the letter V. There are not a lot of parts in bag number 5. And the V and the O have green on the inside instead of blue. Ball joint. I did something wrong. This ball joint should be one more back to there. So that, well, I still did something wrong. What on earth? Oh, I missed an entire step. I missed, this should be there. Now I can put that on. Now that'll fit in there flush. Just building a little bit too fast on this one. It's very cold outside today while I'm building this. It's like minus 29 Celsius, so I think I'm just trying to build quickly to avoid my furnace from kicking on too much. Multicolored hinge. Well, that's it for bag number 5. The V is just much smaller scale than the other letters, the E and the L that we've done so far. It just feels so tiny compared to those. There's a ball joint here, there's a claw joint here, or the receiving end of the claw joint, and then a hinge at the bottom. Let's get right into bag number 6 and finish off the V. Not many parts in this bag either. Not as many parts, but more unique parts, or at least parts we haven't seen in the building of the other 2 letters. Another ball joint. This time I'll put the top on it. Another hinge. That's the end of bag number 6. And there's the fully formed V. Now it should sit, I think, right in this orientation here. We'll know for sure when we connect with the ball joints and the claw joints. Won't connect it into the main assembly just yet. We'll do the O first, and then we'll connect everything together. Definitely not as big in scale as the other 2 letters we've built so far. Still looks pretty good. Now the last 3 bags of parts are all for the O. And even bag number 7 here, there's a lot of parts. So I think a lot of the complexity of this set is in the O. Let's get to it. Now here's a piece I know I don't have. Side-facing studs, and then just 2 connection points at the bottom. Now all these assemblies get stacked on top of each other. This one first. So we're building the inside of the O first. Well, that's kind of the start of the core of the O. Now time for a couple of sub-assemblies. Some claw joints. Two of these. These 2 assemblies go on either side here. Be a bit careful pushing this in. That's the end of bag 7. Either the top or the bottom half of the O, not too sure. Definitely beefy, that's for sure. We still need the outside of it to be put on here. So I believe bag number 8 will be the other side of the O. And then bag 9 will cover everything up. Construction is going to be similar. This side's a bit different because of this A-frame construction. The O sits at a bit of an angle to the other letters, so this will allow it to tilt. So this is the bottom of the O. This just slides in the middle. Okay, and then connects to the bottom there. Definitely a chunky O. We're not even done yet. Starting to get there. The front and the back, of course, are done. It's just the side coverings that need to get done now. So bag 9 will finish the O, and then we'll assemble everything together. Now, 4 side coverings need to get done, and that's what these hooks in here are going to be for. It's pretty simple construction. 3 of these should just snap in. That rounds out the O. The last one will be shaped a little bit to get around that. The O is done. This is a chunky O. This is about the same size as the L and the E. The V is the only one that looks on the smaller scale. Now we just need to put everything together. Time to assemble all the letters together, starting with the L and the E. So quite an easy connection between the L and the E. Just this one Lego brick goes over the other one here. Push that together. And I got to take my pieces I had left over from bag number 4, main one being this one brick. That'll tie all that together, and the rest are just coverings. So the L and the E are now attached. Now the V is going to connect into the 2 ball joints and claw joints right here. I think I got to do them at the same time. So I should just be able to push here. That actually flows really well from the L down to the V. And the V still looks a little small to me. Maybe it's just this leg looks a little skinny. Now for the beefy O. 2 ball joints, 2 that are in the recess down here. And it just sits like that. Here's the final assembly. It is much bigger than I thought it would be. The box says this is only 10 inches by 10 inches or 25 centimeters by 25 centimeters, but it just seems bigger than that to me. Anyway, it looks good. I like the alternating blue between the L and the E, and then the green in the O and the V, which is a little hard to see with this setup here. So of course this is a sculpture, it's a display piece, got a nice message. I think I'll keep this one assembled for quite a while. This would actually be quite easy to dust because there's very few exposed studs. It's all smooth, even on the inside it's smooth. Not a whole lot to say about this. The construction was, fairly interesting. Again, I think this would make a great beginner Lego set for somebody who's just coming into the world of Lego. The construction's fairly simple. The parts are quite large, most of them, so you don't have any difficulty handling small pieces. The final construction's quite robust, actually. You can move it around without too much worry of it falling apart. The back is not as interesting, although it doesn't look horrible. There's nothing really ugly sticking out. It's just, it'd be great if there'd be some way to put smooth tiles on the back here. But it's meant to be displayed this way. This video should be coming out around Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. Thanks for watching. I'll have something new for next week.